Alright guys, welcome to the channel again, and I'm here for some very instructive chess games. I'll be playing against 2100 rated players, and I'll be explaining my thought process as I make my moves. So the games are going to be very entertaining and also very instructive. So without further ado, let's get the game started. Okay, I'm playing an 2100 from India. He's going with the king's pawn opening. Let's go for the French defense. Let's see what he has in store. We have the French defense. Are we going to see the advanced variation? Yes, the advanced variation we see. Let's strike on the center of the board, asking the opponent to capture here and weaken the pawn. Opponent is likely not going to do that. Okay, opponent is going for the Nimzowitsch system of the French defense. I'm just going to capture here because in the French defense, whenever you can capture here, it's usually very good because this pawn becomes weak. Although maybe opponent can try to hold on to the pawn this way, but that just weakens the king's side. But I do not see that happening. A move like this is very common. Capturing here is also a very common move, but I don't mind recapturing this way. And if I can trade this light square bishop for my opponent light square bishop, I'll have a very decent position. Let's see how the game plays out. Okay, opponent captures here. Let's recapture this way. A move like this comes to mind. A move like this also comes to mind, trying to trade my light square bishop. If I play a move like this, I might get it with this move. Okay, if my opponent hits me with that move, I think that's a pawn. So if I play a move like this, maybe my opponent plays moves like this. Maybe with intention of playing a move like this. That's not looking too good. Let's see what my opponent is going to play here. This is move 6 and my opponent is taking forever to play the next move. Maybe my opponent got disconnected or what's going on here. What is going on here is my opponent thinking for how many minutes? It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Let's see what he comes up with. Okay, after about 3 minutes 23 seconds, my opponent finally made a move. A move like this comes to mind. I would like to play a move like this, but I'm also looking at just playing a move like this. Trying to hit this pawn. Not really seeing what I gain with all of those moves. If I play a move like this, I'm just waiting to get hit with this move. But a move like this doesn't really look bad. So if my opponent plays a move like this, I can land the check here and try to trade my light square bishop. But let's just proceed with developing the pieces on my king side. I'm looking at putting this knight here. Putting the knight here, just targeting this pawn. Okay, maybe my opponent is going to capture the knight. If opponent captures the knight, be my guess. I just recapture this way, and this rook becomes very active. So opponent should not. Maybe he can. It's not like he has castled here, so maybe he can capture there, but it doesn't really make too much sense to me. For one, you are giving up the bishop pair. That's one. You're just giving up the bishop pair. And for which reason, I do not know. Okay, now I'm looking at playing a move like this. Let's make sure we are piling up on this pawn. So a move like this, opponent would like to play. Opponent might say, okay, bro, you want to capture here, be my guess. And opponent might just let me capture here and say, okay, I'm going to hit you with this pin, but the pin doesn't work because I have this check, and my opponent will just end up losing material. So if opponent allows me to capture this pawn, I'm going to grab the pawn, and opponent castles there. And now I can't really grab the pawn, guys, because if I go grab the pawn now, when opponent plays this move, if I capture here, it is not a pin. But if I go grab the pawn, when opponent plays this move, I think I can play this move. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So I think that's a pawn, bro. And if my opponent tries to double up here, I just bring my knight back and I am chilling. So let's go here. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. If opponent plays a move like this, I can break the pin this way. I can simply break the pin that way and I'm okay. So opponent just gave me a pawn and I'm holding on to it. Holding on very tight to the pawn. Let's go here. We are breaking the pin. And now my knight is defended by 2 pieces. So it's not like my opponent is going to win the knight. A move like this also comes to mind with intention of just saying, okay, I can capture here and get the bishop pair. That looks like an interesting move. A move like this also comes to mind, but opponent can capture here. And I really do not have anything. A move like this, I'm really tempted to play. And then just go in here. If we capture here, opponent can capture here. And after the trade, I think I'm okay. So if I capture here, opponent capture, yes, I think I'm okay. This bishop is a very, very good bishop. Aiming towards my king side, and bishop might become a menace. So let's do this. So just like that, I'm up a pawn. Although this bishop is a sad bishop, and if I can trade the bishop, I will be happy to. I'm looking at just castling here on the next move, staying away from the chaos. Staying away from chaos that can arise from leaving your king on the center of the board. A move like this comes to mind for sure, trying to pile up on this pawn. For now, I'm not seeing what I gain with that, so let me just castle. This is a very weakening move. Why did my opponent play this? Why did you play that, bro? Move doesn't really make sense. Now you have an isolated pawn. Might just be a very weak pawn. Pawn might become very weak. We are opening up a sneaky discovered attack on my opponent's king. Let's play a move like this. Gain a tempo on the queen again. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that is begging to lose material. A move like this now comes to mind. But if I play a move like this, guess what? My opponent can push this pawn forward. And I can't really do much about it, I guess. I'm just going to lose material. What if I push this knight forward? Opponent has this move. What if I go forward this way? Opponent wins this. A move like this, I do not want to see. So maybe we play a move like this. So that if opponent push pawn forward, I just push forward. Now a move like this comes to mind with maybe intentions of playing a move like this. Is there something that is weak here? For now, I'm not seeing any weak stuff. So where is this evil knight going? You always want to ask yourself, why did my opponent play that move? I'm not seeing where the knight goes. I think we have this move. Just trying to be very careful. We have this move asking the knight, go away, you evil knight. Making sure all of these key squares are defended. Now I'm just going to kick the knight away. Go away, evil knight. And it looks like I'm grabbing a pawn for myself. So it seems. But if I go grab this pawn, opponent grabs this pawn. Not something I think I want. So let's just try to connect our rooks here. Let me try to connect my rook by playing a move like this. Capturing here now is dangerous because the moment my opponent plays a move like this, I really need to be careful as I might just end up losing material here. A move like this, I would like to capture here. Okay, if my opponent strike me immediately, I just grab this. But maybe my opponent can throw in this move and then hit me with this. And it looks like it makes sense. Let's say I go grab here. Let's say opponent push pawn forward and I go grab here. If opponent plays a move like this, I just capture here. If opponent just immediately attacks my queen, I just capture here. So what if opponent throws in this move? Hit my queen first. Okay, my queen is here. Hit my queen. Yes. I guess we are going to see it on the board. I play a move like this. Opponent plays this move. Hit my queen. I think I can play a move like this and just be okay. Yes. Maybe the knight lands here. Knight might say I am a mini menace. But I think that's a pawn, bro. Let's go grab it. If opponent plays any of this move, I'm just going to capture here. Although opponent might say, my rook is infiltrating. That makes sense. Let's go here. A move like this, I expect. That's a move I expect to see on the board. Trying to say, okay, I'm hitting the rook and all of this, and my knight is annoying here. But I'm looking at just maybe moving my rook somewhere, and a move like this then comes to mind. So let's see what my opponent is up to. A move like this just blunders checkmate. Random move like this, I would like to capture here, but opponent captures here, and the knight becomes the rook becomes very active on my 7th rank. Although I can just kill the rook like this, say there evil rook, just go away. I saw that move coming from 10 miles away. So where do I put this knight? Where do I put my rook? I think I prefer to put my rook here. I'm just stopping my opponent from ever playing a move like this. Ooh, what about this move? Okay, opponent wants a trade, bro. Bro wants a trade. Who am I to say no? I'm going to give him the trade. I was expecting maybe they capture this way, but regardless of how they capture, I have no issues. I'm looking at landing my bishop here, and the bishop is going to be a monster. And why this knight looks good? Oh, just blundered, I guess. I just blundered a pawn. I guess. Let's go here. Let's hit this piece. Go away, evil piece. All right. Now, if my opponent goes grab this pawn, I can capture this pawn. So grabbing that pawn is not a move I see my opponent playing. But how do I really defend this, my pawn? That's the question now. How are we defending this pawn? How are we defending the pawn? And the answer seems like there's no way to defend the pawn, bro. Pushing this pawn forward looks interesting. Playing a move like this, trying to hold on to the pawn, that's giving up material. Giving up material, I do not want. I don't want to give up material here. I really want to hold on to this pawn, but this knight being very strong, that's a very strong knight. A move like this also comes to mind. Asking my opponent to capture here. We really need to keep that up. Let's play a move like this. I see my opponent capturing here, and I'm looking at playing a move like this. Just try to trade one set of the rooks. Let's trade one set of the rooks. Let one set of the rooks leave the board. I'm still up a pawn. If opponent plays a move like this, I just capture here. Well, I would love to play a move like this. This knight is very close to the edge of the board, but surprisingly, the knight is actually controlling some key squares. Some very important squares are being controlled by the knight. Let's play a move like this. Trying to hit this pawn and trying to say, dear knight, dear rook, we want you to remain on that square. Okay, let's go here. I want to control this file. That's something I want to do. I want to come in for the only open file on the board, and my opponent smashed the resign button. Let's quickly take a look at that game. Let's see what happened there. I played with 87.1% accuracy. That is just impressive. And from the graph, I was never in trouble. Let's quickly take a look at the game. What happened here? This was your regular frame defense, and capturing in the center of the board was just good. Opponent capturing there was the best move. And opponent took 3 minutes. Maybe opponent was doing something to play this move, and it was just an inaccuracy. And that's another inaccurate move. Okay, this move was not really the best. What is the best move here? Oh, just push pawn forward. Maybe the knight lands here. Knight lands here. The knight lands here. And what am I really getting with that? Okay, if the knight lands here, maybe I can capture here. And opponent, what can opponent do? My opponent do? Okay. Yes. Maybe opponents have to put the knight here, because if opponent puts the knight here, a check like this is just going to win the knight. So that's why the move is the best move. And the opponent thought he was pinning me, but there is no pin there. Capturing there just give up some advantage. Let's turn on the evaluation bar. Capturing there just give up some advantage. So what was the best move here? Maybe landing here. Let's see what the engine thinks. Yes, landing there and just capturing here. I thought about the move, but I just thought, why not just capture the bishop and take away my opponent's bishop. That's a miss win. After this move, that was a good move. Let's see what's the best move here. Okay, coming back, centralizing my queen was the best move. Capturing there, not too dangerous. Found a way to get back into the game, and after this trade, strike here. And then I played a move like this and was just putting pressure here. But this knight, surprisingly, is just controlling some very important square on the board. And I cannot really hold on to this pawn. Opponent defense. I played this move, just offered a trade. Let's trade pieces. And then I do a rook lift here. I'm looking at putting my rook here. If my opponent plays a move like this, maybe I just attack the knight one more time. Say there, even knight, just move away. And the plan is to control this only open file. Put a rook on this only open file. And if my opponent... If we get to trade the rooks, this should be a completely winning endgame for me. And my opponent realizes that, and opponent smashed the resign button. Let's get another game rolling. Okay, who do we have here? Bina Fan, a 21-46 rated player. What is this move? This is the queen's pawn opening. Now the queen's gonna be declined. Although the move order was quite interesting. Interesting move order to go into the queen's gambit declined. Capturing here comes to mind, but if I capture here, opponent just captures here. And maybe that might be the queen's gambit accepted. If I capture here, opponent just captures here. So I want my opponent to move this bishop first. Once my opponent move the bishop, maybe then I capture there. And if my opponent captures here, I have no issues recapturing this way, and my piece just becomes very active. Let's go here. I suspect my opponent just push pawn forward. Yes. And my suspicions were correct. Okay, a move like this now comes to mind. A move like that, I'm not seeing what I gain with. So let's play a move like this. I'm trying to support this square before I go for this pawn break. I saw that move coming from 5 miles away. Just going to launch my knight into the center of the board that way. Opponent is going for some crazy pawn push, but let's see what he achieves with that. Let's see what he's going to achieve with all of that. Go away, evil piece. Let's grab here. A move like this comes to mind. Yes, that's a move I really want to play, holding on to my pawn that way. But if I play a move like that, is there something I should worry about? Opponent has some discovered attack on me. But for now, I'm really struggling to find what my opponent gets with that discovered attack. So let's say I play a move like this. Where's my opponent moving to? Maybe he moves here. But if he moves there, where's my queen going? That might be another question. I'm not seeing where I put my queen. A move like this also comes to mind. The opponent can strike me with this move. A move like this comes to mind. Asking my opponent to capture here so I can play a move like this and keep everything defended this way. I think I prefer going for this. Why this move looks interesting, holding on to my pawn. Opponent can play some moves like this. And that's a discovered attack on my queen. And I have to move my queen again. And opponent is just going to gain a bunch of tempos on my queen. So if I play a move like this, it looks dangerous. It looks very dangerous because once my opponent captures here, this file becomes open. But I think my opponent's king still being stuck on the center of the board. Let's see how my opponent survives this. Opponent is not even interested in going for any of that. Ooh, opponent doesn't even capture there. Now I'm just going to push pawn forward. Okay, opponent has a check here. And the check is quite nasty. That is a nasty check. So let's say I push pawn forward. If I do not push pawn forward, I suspect my opponent might want to land the knight here or land the knight here. So let's say we push pawn forward. How do we hold on to this? That might be a question. That might be a very important question. Let's say I push pawn forward. Opponent might land a check here. My pieces are just not well coordinated. They are not coordinated the way I want them to be. And if I allow my opponent play a move like this, if I push pawn forward, then I gain nothing because my opponent can easily just capture here. So I'm looking at, maybe let's play a move like this. I'm looking at a move like this, and the threat is simply to capture here. That's the threat. Capture here, take advantage of the pin on this pawn. And I'm also looking at maybe playing a move like this, take advantage of the pin on this pawn. I won't be surprised if my opponent lands a check here. I won't be surprised, but let's see. I'm looking at playing moves like this and just trying to untangle my pieces. My pieces are just tangled on that part of the board. So I'm going here. I'm looking at playing a move like this. If opponent push pawn forward, I'm looking at pushing pawn forward like this. And if opponent plays that, I really feel like playing a move like this. But I think we can play a move like this. But that's just losing material. Let's not give up material here. Let's play this. If opponent push pawn forward, I push pawn. If opponent push pawn, I push pawn. And if the king side is locked, I think we can say good luck to my opponent starting anything on this part of the board. If I can lock the king side, push pawn forward, I push pawn. Opponent might sacrifice here, so we need to watch out for that sacrifice. That's a sacrifice we need to watch out for. If I push pawn forward here, my opponent can grab this pawn. I do not want that. Opponent is playing the position very aggressively, but not in a very sound way, if you ask me. Very aggressively, yes, but this way, I do not think it's the sound way. I can capture here, and after the trade, just get a pawn. That's one thing I can do. I can push pawn forward, but I'm leaning towards just capturing. I'm also leaning towards just ignoring and asking my opponent to capture here, and then play a move like this. But my opponent has this pawn break. Yes. They have that pawn break, and that might be annoying. So let's say we capture here, opponent captures, I just capture this way. What else do I worry about? Can't I get away with just winning this pawn? Pushing this pawn forward comes to mind. Asking my opponent to sack here, and after the sacrifice, simply asking my opponent, what do you have? What do you have? Yes, I'm going to push the pawn forward. I do not want to allow my opponent unnecessary counterplay. If my opponent is going to sacrifice here, I'm simply saying, be my guest, bro. Be my guest. Once I'm able to start an attack on my opponent's king, it's going to be vicious. It's going to be everything and vicious. Let's go here. Let's go for that move. If opponent plays this move, okay. If opponent plays that, I think I can just capture here. That's a pawn, bro. Hit the queen. I expect my opponent to capture here with check. I'm just going to capture here. I have no issues. I have absolutely no issues with that. And looks like a bunch of pawns is about to drop. My opponent's about to lose a lot of pawns here. So let's see what my opponent is up to here. A move like this I expect. Moving the queen is also a move. Moving the queen, maybe moving the queen here, looks like a move. So let's just see what my opponent comes up with next. A move like this does nothing, as I can capture here with check, and then I just win this piece. So let's see what my opponent has. 2 minute time advantage, but my position is really commanding here. I do not know why a 2000 rated player will be playing like this. I really do not know. Keeping the king on the center of the board is dangerous, and these pawns are very extended. They are just overextended, and in an end game, those pawns might just start falling. I strongly believe my position is completely winning here. That's what I believe. A move like this might happen, and after I capture here, maybe then a move like this, pinning this pawn, pinning this piece. But I think I can play a move like this. Just keep everything solid. Maybe a move like that. Maybe my opponent can sack here. And after I capture here, what else? Maybe capture here with check, and I move away. What else? Okay, let's see what my opponent is going to come up with here. Opponent is trying to solve the chaos on the board, but he actually asks for this trouble. Opponent asks for this trouble that is on the board right now. Yes, saw that move coming from 100 miles away. Capture, going here check comes to mind. Going there check, maybe I do not want to play. Let's go here instead. Opponent found the resign button. Let's quickly see how many percent accuracy did I play there. Why did you play like this guy? Why did you play chess like this? I play with 84.5% accuracy. An opponent played with 75.7. From the graph, I was never in trouble. But not one of my best games, I guess. Let's see what happened here. This was the Queen's Gambit decline, or the Queen's Pawn open. Yes, the Queen's Gambit declined. And the engine is calling this an inaccuracy. I wanted to just support this square and push pawn forward. So let's go into the key positions here. And after this move, that's bad. What's the best move here? Oh my goodness. Look at that, guys. That is brutal. Although the position is still relatively equal, the idea here is simple. If my opponent captures here, I have this check. I think that's the idea. And my opponent can no longer castle here. King is going to be stuck on the center of the board. Let's see. Is that the correct move? Yes, that's the correct move. Landing a check here is just the correct move. So let's quickly move on. Okay, this idea looks interesting. My opponent played this move, which is a missed win. Let's see, was that pawn push good? Yes, it was the best move. Was this move also acceptable? Because I was really considering this move. That's a move I was considering. Was it really acceptable? Yes, it was also a good move. But after my opponent captures here, can I capture here? Do I capture there? Yes, that's the third engine move, capturing here. But one thing I realized with this move is that my opponent can play a move like this and maybe try to generate some counter play around my king side. A move like this also comes to mind. I do not want any of that. That's why I just locked the position. That's the reason I just locked the position, and it was the best move. I was daring my opponent. You want to sack there, all right? Be my guest. Sacrifice there if you will. And opponent decided to back out. I captured here, and opponent played a move like this. I was looking at playing this move. Let's see if that's the best move, or if that was just a blunder. I was really considering this move. Yes, that was the best move, and my opponent resigned in this position. Let's get another game rolling. Okay, I'm playing a 2200 rated player here. Let's see who we have here. Let's go with the King's Pawn opening. Opponent is going for the Caro-Kann. I'm looking at doing the Von Hennig Gambit. An aggressive gambit, but not the most sound gambit to go for, I guess. Let's go for this. But it allows me a lot of attacking ideas. So let's see how my opponent responds to this. Capturing here comes to mind, which is usually the best move. Some people play moves like this. I think this is also a good move. Maybe the best move here. But let's see. If my opponent captures here, I'm happy to see that move because it allows me a lot of attacking opportunities. Okay, opponent doesn't capture there. I'm looking at just playing a move like this and castling the other way. Guys, I'm looking at playing a move like this. Okay, a move like that I do not appreciate. Let's go here. I was thinking of maybe castling this way, but with what I'm seeing on the board, I might end up just castling this way. So let's see what my opponent comes up with next. A move like this, I won't be surprised to see. I really wish to castle this way. Can I still go here and castle this way? Let's castle here regardless. Let's castle here. I'm looking at putting my queen here. maybe bringing the queen here and starting up an attack here. Look at my bishops, guys. Those bishops are so good. They are just incredibly good. Where do I put this knight? A move like this, do not think I have any issues with. Okay, let's say we go here. Opponent can ignore and push pawn forward or push pawn forward. What is this move? Okay, for now, I'm not sure what that move does. If opponent push pawn forward here, it does nothing. I'm just going to capture here and I have no issues. If opponent plays moves like this, I can capture here. Okay, if opponent captures there, I think I can also capture here. And it comes with a threat, guys. Comes with an amazing threat here. The threat here is simple. Capture here and then capture this bishop. That is the threat. Opponent realizes it and the opponent doesn't allow it. Opponent is pinning me. That's a nasty pin. I do not like the pin. I'm looking at playing a move like this. Opponent can capture here with check and then I capture here. That's a move I'm looking at. I really love my bishop sitting here, but this pin, very nasty. So what do we do here? If I capture here, opponent captures here, that's just going to open up my opponent's queen and bishop in one move. So I do not want to capture here. I think that move only helps my opponent. So I'm looking at playing a move like this. Asking my opponent to capture here and let me capture here. That's a move I'm considering. A move like this also comes to mind, and from here, the knight coming here also comes to mind. So let's go here. Let's see what my opponent comes up with now. Okay, I won't be What if my opponent captures here? Okay, need to watch out for that. I don't think it does anything. I can just capture here. I can just capture there and I'm chilling. Opponent captures there. Ooh. Can I just go grab here? Okay, so let's say we go capture. Oh my goodness, am I making a blunder? Nah, I do not think so. Let's say I capture here. Do you see what my opponent is going to come up with? Oh, that's a queen, bro. I can't capture there. I would love to capture here. I also can't capture there. I think this might be the way. This is the way, guys. So let's see what opponent comes up with next. A move like this I am expecting. That's a move I'm expecting. Hitting my queen. I'm looking at playing a move like this. Capturing here. But can I really sack my queen that way? Doesn't look like I can. Doesn't look like we can do that. Let's say my opponent plays a move like this. Let's say my opponent plays a move like this. And then I decide to capture here. Yes. I would like to capture here, but we do not have that move. So let's assume I capture here. Opponent captures here. And then I capture here. That's 8 points of material. Opponent captures here. That's 5 points. And if I capture here, it's just 8 points of material. That is not good. That is not good for me. Let's go back here. Keeping this defended. This is also defended this way. Capturing here comes to mind now because that's a free piece. That is a free piece. My opponent has a lot of time advantage here. Moving here comes to mind, but for now, I do not have that move. Opponent would love to play a move like this to deflect my queen. I can come back here to defend, but I see my opponent playing a move like this. And that's not a move, I think. This move looks too passive for my liking. So instead of coming there to defend, I think I can just move away. And if my opponent goes grabbing pawn here, I do not think I have too much issues with that. I think I can maybe slide a rook over. I would love to do a rook lift. Maybe a rook lift here and a rook lift here. The rook lift here is giving up material. Alright, I think I'm just going to move away from this pin. I'm asking my opponent, you want that pawn? Alright, be my guess. Go grab the pawn. If the pawn makes you happy, go grab it. A move like this comes to mind, but my opponent can just capture this knight because the knight will no longer be defended. And I do not want that on the board. A move like that, I also do not really appreciate. I'm looking at setting a trap here. I'm looking at playing a move like this, guys. That's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at playing a move like this. Asking my opponent to capture here. And if he captures here, I have this check. And if they capture this way, then I go here. 1. That's a free queen. That's 1. So let's say I play this move. Okay, we already look at this. Okay, capture there. What if I land the check? If my opponent captures here, I have this check. The king goes here. I have this check. But when I land this check, they capture here. They capture here. The king is here. If I land this check, the king comes out. That might be too much, guys. That might be too much. That might be too much trouble. I'm really considering it. A move like this. asking my opponent to capture here. If they capture with the rook, I can capture here. I can go there, check, and after this move, I have this check, the king goes here, I have this check, the king comes out, I have a check here. It looks dangerous, guys. Aside from just looking dangerous, is there anything it does for me? Doesn't seem to do anything for me. That's a move I want to abandon. I think in the analysis, we are going to watch out. We are going to check and see if it was a good move. Let's play a move like this. Simply protecting this, and I'm looking at swinging a rook over here. I'm not really worried about my opponent winning a pawn here. That's a move I'm not too worried about. Opponent might be interested in maybe grabbing a pawn there. A move I do not really care too much about. Don't really care too much about the move. I'm still looking at going for this, but I'm not seeing it working. I'm not seeing it working. That's a problem. Does it work this time around? Maybe we get the same position. We might get exactly the same position, except I already have this move. Okay, opponent doesn't go for any of that. Opponent is not interested in any of that. Opponent has the time advantage. I'm playing too slow for my own liking. Guys, I'm too slow. What is going on? But wait. Okay, I thought I had a tactic with capturing here and asking my opponent to go here, so I capture here. But that was defended all this while. Pushing pawn forward here comes to mind. Opponent just wins material, I guess. Let's go here. Okay, we can't do that. We are just going to lose this. Let's go here. I'm playing too slow, guys. I'm too slow. Opponent has a lot of time advantage here. Opponent has the time advantage. I see that move coming. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that, I may not see what I'm gaining with. Let's go here. Opponent can capture here, hit my rook. I'm looking at putting the rook here. That's something I'm looking at immediately. Capturing here also comes to mind. So let's see what opponent comes up with. Let's say opponent captures here. If I capture here, opponent capture here. I really do not have anything here. If I capture here, opponent captures here. And then I capture here, opponent captures back. And that's an equal trade. I think this is an attacking piece. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it attacking. Let's keep it attacking. Sacking here comes to mind. Sacking there for now doesn't do anything because this queen is defending this knight. If the queen is not defending the knight, I can sack here, land a check here, maybe pick this up. Oh, that's a blunder, guys. That's a pawn. What do we know about pinned pawns or pinned pieces? They only give you an illusion of defense. So if I capture here now, what else does my opponent has? I need to make the move fast. I'm threatening checkmate. I'm threatening to capture here checkmate. The opponent might need to move this knight. Where are they moving the knight to? That's a question. That is a question. Where are you moving the knight to? You move the knight here, that's not checkmate. And they move the knight here, but that's a piece. That's just going to be a piece. So I do not think, okay, what if they move the knight here? That's not a piece. That is not a piece, I guess. Check here comes to mind. Check here and check here does nothing. The king has this square at the end of the day. Yes. So it does nothing. So if my opponent moves the knight, I'm looking at just capturing here. Let's capture here. And after the trade, I have this check. I have to move fast. I'm running low on time, guys. Running low on time. Checkmate here, we are threatening. We are threatening to go here, checkmate. Opponent cannot defend it this way. If I had given this check, my opponent just blocked this way and I have nothing. If my opponent tries to defend this way, I have this move and that's a pin. That's a nasty pin. A move like this also comes to mind with the intention of landing a check here, checkmate. That also looks very strong. Maybe opponent might find the resign button. Was that move even stronger? If I had played that move earlier, I think my opponent can push pawn forward. If I had played that move earlier, I think opponent push pawn forward and the evil queen from here defend this square. And that's a win, guys. We just destroyed it 2-2. I played with 86.8% accuracy and opponent played with 83.5%. And there was a point where I actually gave my opponent the advantage. Yes, there was a point I gave my opponent the advantage. But aside from that point, I was almost always, well, it was just always in the balance. This was the Von Hennig Gambit. Opponent doesn't accept the gambit, they just give me back the pawn. And I was looking at playing a move like this and castling here, but this is looking too annoying. I do not want to allow that, and I castled here, and that was just an acceptable move. And then I tried to start an attack. A reason I love this gambit, and my opponent played this move. That's an annoying pin, because this is a very useful piece in attacking my opponent, but my opponent is trying to trade the piece off, and I can't really do much about it. And after the trade, opponent plays this move. Wait, the engine wanted me to capture with my queen. Nah, I'm not capturing with my queen. I want to attack. That was the best move, guys. Giving my opponent the pawn. We are simply saying, bro, you want the pawn, go grab it. Opponent doesn't. Opponent plays this move instead. And let's see what the best move is. Is it to slide a rook over? Okay. I think sliding a rook over, I think that was just some inaccurate, and that was just a blunder waiting to happen. I did not allow it to happen. And then I strike with this inaccurate move. And then this great move. Opponent captures there. Not really a good move. And that was a miss win. This move that looks so good is a bad move. So what is the best move here? Actually calculated this and say if my opponent captures here and then I capture here. I just saw that a lot of pieces are leaving the board, and I do not really want that. I do not really want that. That's why I didn't go for it. I have a rook, and I just thought, okay, just bring the rook into the attack. If we have 3 pieces attacking my opponent's king, it cannot be good for my opponent. And my opponent immediately blunders with that. And after we capture here, it is literally GG's. We capture there, which is the best move. Land this check and then play this move. Not the best move. Okay, what was the best move here? Let's see. I think the engine is divided on this one. Rook h5. Yes, I was talking about the move earlier. I was also talking about the move saying, okay, we are threatening to go here, checkmate. But then my opponent can play a move like this. I think then we have this. Yes, checkmate in 10 now. It's checkmate in 10. And engine is already suggesting moves like this for my opponent. And have moves like this, and it's just GG's. Let's get another game rolling. I'm playing a 2072 rated player. What do we have here? We have the English opening on the board. Let's strike in the center this way. I'm looking okay. I think I like what I'm seeing here. My opponent wants to fianchetto the bishop, and I'm simply saying, dear opponent, your bishop is looking at a rock. Your bishop is just looking at a rock. Let's castle here. Looks like my opponent is also going to castle here. I want to go for this move. I do not see what I gain with that, aside from just getting kicked around. And if I play a move like this, I think it allows my opponent a move like this, hitting my pawn immediately, and maybe making me question this decision. So maybe we just play a move like this. Maybe land a knight here. And if a knight can land here, knight is going to be a monster. Okay, so let's say we play a move like this. What do I expect from my opponent? What should I reasonably expect from my opponent? Let's say I'm looking at playing a move like this. If opponent push pawn forward, I am interested in pushing pawn forward, but that's going to be a free pawn. Okay, opponent doesn't do any of that. Now, but I know opponent might want to push pawn forward here, guys. Opponent might want to do that. And because opponent might want to do that, I'm looking at playing a move like this, which does absolutely nothing. The move does nothing. So I'm also looking at playing a move like this. But if I play a move like this, when my opponent push pawn forward, I think I may have to just capture. Maybe it's just going to be a big trade. Okay, let's say I play a move like this. Opponent capture, push pawn forward, I capture here. And opponent captures back. And I think we can just go back, and this piece is looking at its own pawn, and maybe I have no issues with that. That said, we need to watch out and make sure we are not blundering something. A move like this also comes to mind. Yes, I saw that move happening. Let's see what opponent goes for here. Yes, I'm simply saying, bro, you're looking at a rock. That's what I'm saying. This bishop is a very sad bishop. That's a sad bishop for now. Okay, opponent plays that. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. Did I just blunder? Did I just blunder? Did I just blunder? Not really. I think we have this check. And then a move like this. My pieces are so active, guys. Very active piece. Opponent might kick this away. Where am I putting it? We need to ask ourselves. And these pawns, they are looking overextended, guys. Pawns are looking overextended. Okay, so let's say I land here. What do I expect? That is defended this way. A move like this comes to mind, but I think I can play a move like this and I should be fine. Also, a move like this comes to mind, trying to ask my opponent to sacrifice here and give me the rook, give me the exchange. Capturing here also comes to mind, and I'll be left with the bishop pair. This knight is very annoying, but can the knight remain annoying for long? That's the big question. A move like this comes to mind, but what am I really gaining with that? What are we gaining with that? A move like this also comes to mind, but I think I'm immediately getting hit with this move. So that move, while it looks like an interesting move, maybe not an interesting move I can get away with playing. I want to play a move like this. I'm not seeing what I get with that. Capturing here also comes to mind. I'm not seeing what I get with that. What is likely my opponent's plan here? Let's bring this rook here. I think the rook is much more active here. Okay, let's say I bring the rook here and my opponent plays this move. Where's that knight going? Where's the knight going? Knight doesn't really have any nice square to move to. The knight doesn't really have any nice square to move to, so we do not want to move the knight that way. We do not want to move our rook that way. I think the knight can move forward here. That's something I think. So let's say I play a move like this. My opponent plays this move. I think I'm just going to capture here. And after all the trade, I think I can land a knight here. Opponent captures here. I capture here. I'm burning time, guys. I'm burning unnecessary time. This move just feels right. The move just feels right. Let's go for it. My opponent push pawn forward here. That's not a move I'm worried about. If my opponent push pawn forward, that's a move I should calculate. The knight is very annoying. I might end up trading the knight for this bishop. Guys, I felt like that was a pawn. I really felt it was a pawn. It's not a pawn. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that comes to mind. Opponent is piling up on this, but bro, what are you piling up on? I really want to just capture here. That's what I really want to do. Just capture there. A move like this comes to mind. Hitting the queen this way and this way. But my opponent is going to trade here. And after all the trade, maybe move the knight, move their bishop here. This is defended this way. I'm taking too long, guys. I'm taking too long. And I do not want to get flagged. Let's play a move like this. We are opening an attack here and threatening to capture here now. A move like this, I may not be surprised with, because where am I putting the bishop? Where am I putting the bishop? I feel like putting the bishop here. That's what I feel like doing. If my opponent captures here, I just capture here. Let's see what my opponent comes up with here. Or maybe I just move the bishop back. Is that going to be good? This knight is annoying, and guess what? I know it. I know it is a very annoying knight. Do I have something else to play here? A move like this comes to mind. Capturing here comes to mind. Going here comes to mind. So let's say I go here now. Opponent is going to trade, and after the trade, opponent just wins material. So we do not want my opponent winning material. So what if I go here now? I think I can just go back here. This pawn is under attack now. How is my opponent defending it? How are you defending this pawn? Okay, they can push the pawn forward. I'm really looking at capturing here. Yes, that should be a move. That should be a move. I can capture here. And after the trade, I should be able to win a piece here. Okay. If I capture here, opponent is going to capture this way. Then I just capture here. And then I win a piece here. I think straightforward like that. So let's say we capture here. If opponent captures here, this is no longer defended. And if opponent captures here, the queen is no longer defended. And if opponent captures here, I'm going to capture the queen. And after that, capture this way. I think opponent just missed the tactic there. But if opponent captures here first, I'm still just going to capture here. And at the end, I should have a move like this. Yes. Opponent just missed the tactic there. That doesn't really save the game. Oh, but now they can capture with check. Oh, they can capture that way now. They can capture with the knight here. Yes. Oh, I missed that. I missed that. And they can capture with the knight. Oh, I missed that. I missed that. They can capture with the knight now. Wow. A move like this now comes to mind. Yes, of just capturing here with check. My pieces are very active here. That's one good thing. Pieces are so active. This piece, I wish it is trapped. Opponent, maybe opponent doesn't realize they can capture here. This is one of the moves I didn't look at, and it's a good move. A move like this comes to mind. Trying to go for a pin. Ooh. Okay, let's say my opponent captures here. Can I sack here? Can I sacrifice there by going here? The knight is here. The knight can go here, and the knight just defends this. But I can capture the knight. Position looks quite complicated, but do I really want to sack my knight? Because that's a knight I might have to move. I guess opponent is locked in, thinking this is maybe this is the only option here. But I think opponent has this move. And while I would love to play this move, oh my goodness me, opponent sacks there. Bro. Why did you do that? If my opponent captures here now, I have this move. And once they move, they have to move somewhere else. And I'm just going to grab this piece with check. If you move here, that's going to be a free piece. I think my opponent just blundered. This is going to be a very interesting game. We're going to analyze. Let's see what happened there. Was opponent expecting me to capture? Okay, if opponent captures here, what do we do? Do we capture here? Yes, we are just going to capture there. We are just going to capture there. This move is very strong. If I ignore that move, opponent can capture here with check, and it's not like I'm delivering checkmate here. So let's not ask for trouble. Okay, I'm up 3 points of material, guys. I can sack here with check. That's one. I can sack here with check and try to play a move like this, but we do not have it. But then I can just play a move like this. Just hold on to all my material. Hold on to everything, and my knight is coming out, guys. The evil knight is coming out. The evil knight is coming out. Just going to play a move like this, and I'm chilling. My knight is defended. I'm looking at bringing the knight out this way. This is GG's. Opponent captures there. I think we are just going to capture here. Threat might be this. Threat might be simple as just grabbing here. If I capture here, I suspect my opponent. What if I just go here? Instead of capturing there, what if we just go here? There's one move here that I do not like. Okay, I'm just saying things. There's nothing there. I see my opponent playing a move like this, trying to desperately hold on to that pawn. Hold on to this piece. But I think then I can capture here. Yes. Then I can capture here. And what next, guys? What next? What next, guys? We have a pinned piece. What do you do when there's a pinned piece? You put pressure on the pinned piece. So we are just going to put pressure on the piece this way. Opponent would love to capture here, but you can't. If opponent captures here, I'm just going to capture here. There is still a pin on the board. This is just disaster for my opponent. It's just disaster. So I'm up 3 points of material, but I'm about to be up 6 points of material. And this is going to escape. It's not like I'm losing this because these moves are going to come with check. And because they are coming with check, I'm on time to save my knight. Opponent might be looking for the resign button or opponent might be looking for the resign button or trying to find a way to come out of this, but there's no way to come out of this. It is GG's. It is GG's. So let's say I capture here. And then my opponent captures here. What do we do? I'm just going to come back. Okay, opponent found the resign button. Let's quickly take a look at this game. This looks like a very interesting game. I played with 79.2% accuracy. Opponent played with 70.4% accuracy. And I was never in serious trouble in the game. Although there was a point where I gave up my advantage. So let's see. Let's quickly dive into the game. Let's see what happened there. Then we went for this fianchetto setup. I tried to hit the bishop this way. And I was already happy with my chances here. But then I played this move. I was just trying to pile up here. I knew my opponent was going to play this move. I just wasn't thinking. I just did not think that move is something I should worry about. And the engine is saying, just like that, my opponent has some advantage here. Then I came back here and was really happy with my chances here. A check here and a knight here. And this is still slightly better for my opponent. How? Their evil engine, how? And guys, the threat here is to land a check here. It's going to be a fork. And my opponent is forced to play a move like this. Lose the exchange, lose their rook for a knight. And after a move like this, that was bad. Okay, what was the best move for my opponent? I guess I saw that move coming, but yes, I saw that move coming. I actually thought of that move, but I was not seeing it as a very big threat. I thought I could play moves like this and maybe get away with playing a move like this. That's what I was thinking. But let's see what the follow-up is. Yes, that's exactly the follow-up. And the engine wants my opponent. My opponent can capture the queen or the knight. And I was thinking I could play a move like this. Oh, I can also play a move like this. Yes. But the engine prefers this position for white. The engine prefers the position for white. But then I found this move. Then I went back. What was the best move here? Just go grab there. This is defended. Grab a pawn justice. How are you missing that? Ooh, that's a miss win. What was the best move here? I was really proud of that tactic. Look at that, guys. Look at that. That is insane. Look at that. Let me show you the idea here. The idea here is simple. If my opponent captures here, I just grab a free queen. A very, very free queen. And if my opponent decide to capture here, before we capture here, what do? We find an in-between move, which is to land a check here. That's an in-between move. It is a check, and because it is a check, my opponent is forced to respond to it. And after they respond to it, then we capture here. And just like that, we are up 3 points of material and completely winning. But I missed that, guys. I missed that. Instead, I captured here, and then my opponent messed it up. I calculated several variations, but I overlooked this. But that is slightly equal. The only move I overlooked was slightly equal. And after this capture, opponent plays this move. I defended my piece, captured here. Okay, the engine is saying there's checkmate in 8 here. Checkmate in 8 here, starting with what? Let's see what the best move is. Okay, just ignore everything and go here. Allow my opponent to capture here with check, because this move is very strong. Well, I did not see it, I guess. And after this move, this is very strong. I remove a key defender of this square. That knight is a very key defender of this square. That's why I captured it, so that my bishop can use this square. And then I put my bishop here. It is GG's. It is GG's. You can't save this bishop, and the game is over. And my opponent found the resign button. Let's get another game rolling. Okay, I'm playing a 2100 from Uzbekistan. Let's go for the king's pawn opening. Opponent is going for the Sicilian. Some part of me want to go for the Smith-Morra Gambit, but I'm going to go for it, guys. It's one of my favorite weapons in the Blitz game. Let's do it in a rapid game and see if we get away with it. Opponent is letting me just capture there. I'm going to capture. Let's go back here. Opponent is just saying, I'm going to let you have the pawn. I'm going to give back the pawn and just gain a tempo on your queen. That's exactly what my opponent is saying. I do not like what I'm seeing on the board, guys. Do not like. Opponent wants to capture here and then win this. I'm looking at playing a move like this and just castling, because if I play something else, yes, I should play a move like this, because if my opponent sacks this bishop here, I'm going to have some terrible pawn structure. So let's just play it this way. So if my opponent captures here, I can capture here, and the knight keeps defending this square. So now let me castle here. I suspect my opponent wants to play a move like this. I'm going to kick this away. Although whenever you want to move that pawn, whenever you want to move this f pawn, you want to be very careful, which is why I'm being very careful, just to make sure my opponent doesn't have a tactic with this move. And from the looks of things, I'm not seeing a tactic with that move. If my opponent lands this check, I'm just going to move away, and I think I'm fine. Opponent doesn't accept the gambit. This is a Smith-Morra Gambit declined, the center variation. A move like this comes to mind. A move like this looks very interesting to me. Just trying to say, bro, I do not want you putting any piece here. A move like this comes to mind, but I'm not seeing what I get with that. A move like this also comes to mind, but opponent can hit me with this check and then stay away from chaos. I want to pin this, but if I pin it, I have nothing. I think if I pin it, it's just a bad move, because my opponent has this check, and after I move here, opponent can capture here. If I capture here, opponent wins this pawn. Opponent wins that pawn, but we do not want to stop calculating there, okay? I have a move like this. Okay, that will be a piece. I do not have a move like that. And if I get to capture this way, the pawn structure is going to be very sad. So I do not want any of that. So let's play a move like this. Just making sure to block this diagonal. Making sure opponent doesn't have anything coming into that diagonal. Opponent might be looking at pushing pawn here. I think I'm just going to capture here. And after the capture here. Opponent has a lot of pieces attacking this square. So opponent might get to trade his third piece. Opponent might get to trade that third piece. Capturing here comes to mind. Capturing there, I do not want. If I capture here, my opponent is no longer left with an isolated pawn, and my opponent is going to have 3-on-2 pawn majority. 3-on-2 pawn majority on the queen side. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that comes to mind. A move like that doesn't seem to do much, because I see my opponent playing a move like this, trying to force the trade, but capturing there, I really do not want to, because this pawn is going to be a weakness in an endgame. This pawn is going to be a weakness in an endgame, and I know that. I know that for sure. A move like this looks very interesting, but my opponent can capture here, and when they capture here, it comes with a check. I'm looking at playing a move like this. That's exactly what I'm looking at playing. I'm looking at playing a move like this. So let's say we go here now. If my opponent captures there with check, I just capture it a rook and try to kick this evil piece away. Position looks sad. I do not want to I do not want to help my opponent with this pawn. That's not a pawn I want to help my opponent with, but from the looks of things, maybe I should help them with the pawn. Let's help them with it. Let's help them. Oh, they are not really interested in fixing that pawn structure. They just land a check there. If my opponent push pawn forward, I'm very interested in playing a move like this. I'm not seeing what I get with that. That's one thing. A move like this comes to mind. A move like this, I'm considering trying to gain a tempo on the queen and trying to say, dear evil queen, what is your plan? Dear evil queen, what is your plan? Again, okay, maybe opponent wants to put the queen. Where are they putting the queen? Okay, a move like this comes to mind. Where's that piece going? Where's the queen going? Is the queen trapped? Queen has all of these evil squares. Queen has all of those squares. Hit that queen. Okay, so let's say we play a move like this with intention of landing a piece here. Piece here doesn't seem to do much. If I play a move like this, I think I'm allowing my opponent's knight here. A move like this, I really want to play. Gain a tempo on the queen. Where's the queen going? What if we just go here? It's not like I'm attacking that pawn. I'm playing too slow, guys. We need to start making moves. Let's play a move like this. Let's line up with the queen. Yes, I saw that move coming from 100 miles away. Let's kick this piece. Go away, evil. Evil queen, go away. Attacking this pawn comes to mind. A move like this, I would like to play. Pushing pawn forward here also comes to mind. How do we keep attacking this? Not seeing a way. I feel like my opponent might want to play a move like this. Let's go here. Let's go here. I'm looking at piling up on this pawn, but that might not be a pawn we capture. This queen, if I could get to trap the queen, it's going to be very good. Opponent can push this pawn forward if they wish to. Opponent can decide to ignore everything and play that move if they wish to. Why did you play that move, bro? Isn't that a pawn? Am I missing something? That looks to me like a pawn. Let's say we grab this pawn. Opponent has this move. I capture here. Capture, capture. Oh, opponent might be looking at going here. Okay, you always want to watch out for your opponent's plan. Opponent gave me a pawn. It definitely looks like a pawn. But I think at the end of the day, opponent has a move like this. And after the sacrifice, after I capture, opponent plays a move like this, hitting this. I have this move. It looks dangerous, guys. It looks dangerous, but is my opponent going to get anything from that? I say I grab here. And after all the trade, I think my king can sit here. And the king is going to be defending this. I'm going to allow it. Maybe I should have traded one set of rooks first before I play that. What did I just allow? Like, what did I just allow? What did I just allow? Now a move like this comes to mind. Opponent has this move. Threatening checkmate immediately. Guys, look at what I allowed. I think I should have just captured a different pawn. A move like this, I'm just going to lose this. Oh my god. What did I miss there? I was carried away with some other calculations, but I can just move away, can't I? Can't I just move away like this? You know why I'm moving here? I suspect my opponent might want to play a move like this to pile up on this piece. So if they play a move like that, just remove the piece. But look at the time. Look at the time situation, guys. Just look at the time situation. It's crazy. Opponent real. I think opponent sees what I'm planning. A move like this, I'm expecting. A move like that, I'm expecting. And after I move like this, I have this move. To capture here, I capture here. Looks like I have a pawn, but look at the time advantage, guys. Look at the time advantage. I am burning time. My time management is really poor. Opponent can go grab this pawn. That looks like a sad pawn to grab. I think opponent can grab the pawn. I think I should have just gone back here. And if my opponent had played a move like this, I just go here. Yes, that's a move I should have just considered. Oh, that's a move I should have just played straight away. I was so carried away with this move. The move does nothing. Capturing there does nothing. Playing a move like this also does nothing. Playing a move like this just cuts off my rook. I do not want that. It's just going to disconnect my rooks. I want my rooks to be connected. Let's go away. If you capture here, I capture here. What if you capture here? Ooh, I have to respond by capturing. I have to capture this way, I guess. Yes, I can. Ooh, okay. I was thinking maybe I have some nasty sacrifice here, but I do not. If my opponent captures here, I have to respond by capturing, because if I do not, that's checkmate, guys. That's checkmate, because the queen is already sitting here. Although this queen is sad, that's a sad queen. So if opponent captures here, I'm looking at capturing here. If opponent captures here, I'm looking at a move like this. We are just threatening to go here, checkmate. But then my opponent can just push pawn forward. That's a crazy move. That's a crazy move. Position on the board is quite complicated, but Something else I should worry about is the time situation. Time situation is crazy. I'm going to be up a pawn, but was the pawn really worth it? I was thinking my opponent was going to play something else. It doesn't. I'm going to capture there. So what if we ignore that and play a move like this? Just hit this, threatening to capture here as well. I think we can get away with do that. Let's hit the queen, and that's a fork. Opponent can play moves like this, I guess. Ooh, yes, opponent can play a move like that. And I can't really capture here. That's defended. Okay, maybe we are just going to get a big fat trade. Opponent just blundered their queen, because after this check, tell me, what are you doing, bro? That's a check, and that's a queen. Opponent just gave me a queen. That's a simple discovered attack check. Opponent missed it. I was thinking opponent would play a move like this, but opponent really doesn't want to trade queens. That's because he's down 1 point of material. But look at my pawn structure. It's not going to be the best pawn structure on the board. Opponent might be looking for the resign button. Okay, it's not finding it. He is not finding the resign button. Let's go here. Threat here is simple. Capture here. And that's checkmate. An opponent cannot really defend this rook. And they cannot really defend that. Capturing here comes to mind. Capturing there we do not have. Capturing there we do not have. Okay, opponent wants to flag me, guys. Opponent really wants to flag me. If I capture here, opponent just captures here and I have nothing. So let's just go here. That knight is pinned, and I think I like it that way. I love it that way. The knight is pinned. The moment my opponent moves the knight, is GG's. Now I'm looking at just piling up on the knight. And when they move the knight, it is GG's. Opponent has time advantage, but I have the material advantage. One thing here is I need to start playing fast. For a moment, I thought that was trapped. Let's go here. Let's pile up on the piece. I'm able to play a move like this. This is getting trapped. The knight still cannot move. The knight cannot move. I have 1 minute against 3 minutes. 3 minutes 40 something seconds. I think the time should be more than enough. So if we capture here now, what is my opponent up to? Because I'm looking at capturing here. Let's go grab there. Opponent has to be careful. Sacking here comes to mind. I'm not seeing what I gain with sacrificing there. Now a move like this now is a possibility. A move like that now is possible. Capturing here, opponent just captures that way. Do not want that. Let's just grab here. What if we sack here? Asking my opponent to capture here, so I capture with check and pick this rook up. But the opponent has this check. I'm just going to move away. I want to make sure they do not have a check that check with the knight on my queen, on my king. Check here looks very interesting. Opponent just resigned, bro. I have 30 seconds against 2 minutes. The guy wants to flag me. The guy really wants to flag me. That's not a pawn in case my opponent goes for it. A move like this comes to mind, just trying to simplify. And I should have played that move earlier. Okay, if I had played that move, that's a rook. If I had played that move, that would be a rook. If my opponent moves the knight, I have this check, and that's a rook. So opponent cannot really move the knight. They really wish to. That knight is pinned. I just need to not forget that I'm running out of time, and I think I should win this one. I'm looking for checkmate, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing the checkmate at the moment. I'm looking at just simplifying. Let's simplify. Let's simplify. A move like this comes to mind. I'm just going to capture it with check. And cannot really do much. Need to watch out for checks, guys. Need to watch out for checks. I think I can just sack there. Can't I? I think we can. Bro, resign. Okay, guys, we need to move fast. We need to start pre-moving. That's GG's. The guy tried to flag me. Not today. Not today, bro. That's GG's. Let's see what happened in that game. Wow. Played with 79.2% accuracy. Opponent played with 70.7. That is just interesting. Let's see what happened in that game. In the opening phase of the game, I was a bit in trouble. It was Okay, not really the opening phase, I guess the middle game. Okay, this was all good, and this move, the engine thinks was not the best move. Let's see, what was the best move here? I was looking at this as a mistake. I thought my opponent had half check like this. And after that, then they can capture here. And after I move here, I think they can capture here. And if I capture this way, my opponent just loses his pawn. I just loses his pawn. And if I decide to capture this way, look at this pawn structure. It's very sad. It is very sad. Okay, I think I see what the engine is thinking. Okay, capturing there was also the best, is the best move. I was also thinking, maybe I play a move like this. I was also looking at a different idea. And if my opponent captures here, then I can capture here. And my opponent has a pawn. Pawn structure is bad, but thinking maybe I have something here with their king weak like this. Maybe the knight is rerouting into one of these squares and trying to bring my queen into the game. Okay, that's something I just did not calculate in the game. I did not calculate that in the game. I went for that move and it was a bad move. Immediately I captured there, I realized, what have I done to myself? Okay, that was not the best move. Was the best move for my opponent? Yes. And exactly what I calculated was the best move for my opponent. I was looking at that sacrifice, thinking I capture here and my opponent captures here. I was thinking I would just, oh, I do not have that move. I do not have that move. Oh my goodness. I thought I had this move, and when my opponent gives a check here, I just have this move. For his checkmate. I missed it, guys. I missed it. Look at what I'm missing. And I saw the move. I saw the sacrifice, but I allowed it. Yeah, I was just completely lost. Okay, moving here was bad. I think maybe moving my bishop here, I realized that later in the game. My goodness me. Hit the queen. Is the queen trapped? No. If my opponent cannot capture here, what if opponent captures here? Do I just go here? Hit the queen again. But then my opponent can capture and hit my queen, can't he? If he captures here and hit my queen, what do we do here? What do we do? Are we just going to sack here? Let's see. Yes, we just capture here. And after the trade, we capture here. And if my opponent captures here, I capture here. And I'm up 1 point of material, and position is better for me. Well, I didn't find all of that. Okay, staying away from that move was not the best. Staying away was not the best. What was the best? Okay, playing a move like this, keeping everything defended while going here. That really it. That really it. I'm not sure why the engine prefers that. I played this move. Okay, I think the best move for my opponent would be to capture here. Let's see. Yes, you are going to lose the knight, so why not capture something before you lose the knight? And after they lose the knight, then they can capture this knight. Opponent did not find that. And here opponent just blundered. After this move, opponent just blundered. You see, opponent captures my bishop, expecting me to recapture, but then I hit him with this in-between move. And opponent blundered, and after this move, I'm just completely winning. The only problem I have was the clock. That was the only problem. And my opponent pieces are so tied down. Can't really do anything. I want to see, was that sacrifice good? Or okay, yes, it was the best move. And the idea behind the sacrifice, I guess I explained it in the game. If my opponent had captured this way, I simply recapture this way, and that's a fork. That's a fork. I think my opponent can play a move like this, which maybe I did not really think about. But the position is still completely winning for me. But instead, my opponent landed a check there, landed this check, played a move like this, and trading here is music to my ears. Force another trade, and the position is just so simple for me. Started rolling my pass pawn, and there was just nothing my opponent could do about my pass pawn. My pass pawn is just too fast, and landed a check here, captured here. My opponent, okay, my opponent doesn't resign. Opponent was hoping to flag me, but not in this position, as I have this beautiful checkmate. Okay, who do we have here? We are playing a 2200, and it's going with the king's pawn opening. Let's go for the tested and trusted French defense. Which flag is this? This is Bulgaria. Okay, let's go for this variation. Going for the Winiwa variation is interesting, except I really do not know what I'm doing in that variation. But that's a variation I'm very interested in actually mastering and knowing what I'm doing there. I like the variation. In this position, it's very important you capture here, because if I had played this move earlier, my opponent can push his pawn forward, And after I move like this, my opponent just gain unnecessary space on my part of the board, which is not something I want. But by capturing here first, allowing my opponent to capture there, then I have this move and I break the pin. And my opponent no longer has this pawn push, and I'm just chilling. Some people can capture here, which is a very aggressive way to play. And I wasn't expecting my opponent to capture here. I'm going to castle here. I'm looking at playing a move like this and just going here. I'm also looking at playing a move like, let's go here. I'm looking at just doing this. Usually it's good to just give up the pawn that way and give up the bishop that way. But I'm looking at playing a move like this. If opponent doesn't capture my bishop now, I'm going to save my bishop. And I have no issue saving the bishop. Usually, I think according to Stockfish, it wants you to give up the bishop there. Allow your opponent to capture with this centralized knight. But if my opponent has the opportunity to capture now, if they don't, I'm just going to stay away from that trade. I think I'm happy with my position. Opponent captures. He knows he knows better. Just that he has to capture there. A move like this now comes to mind. And what is my opponent going to do about it? Push pawn forward. That looks interesting, I guess. Opponent is looking at playing a move like this. Let's say I play a random move like this. Opponent can play a move like this, and that's going to be a fork. So I'm looking at playing a move like this, trying to attack this, setting up checkmate there. Should I worry about my opponent playing a move like this? I think I can then capture. I can then capture and be fine. If my opponent proceed, okay, guys, the diagonal is so juicy. The diagonal is so juicy. And now I'm looking at playing a move like this. I am really considering a move like that. A move like this also comes to mind. A move like this also comes to mind. Asking my opponent to play a move like this, so that I can play this move and then capture here. Opponent is weakening their king side, and it's something I really like here. I really like that my opponent is weakening his king side. A move like this comes to mind. That's just a trade. That move does nothing. I'm looking at playing a move like this, asking my opponent to play this move. And when I play this move, I think opponent has to play a move like this. Then I capture here. Not seeing what I really gain with that, but might be a way to develop my pieces. Might be a way to develop my piece. If I go here, opponent can capture. And after the trade, what if I go here? Do I worry about my opponent playing a move like this? I really want to go for this sacrifice. I want to make sure it works. I really want to make sure it works. Let's say we go here. Opponent captures here. I have this move. Asking my opponent to decide what they will do. Okay, so let's say we go here. Let's say we go here and my opponent strikes with this move. Crazy. I think we can just go back, and I'm saying to my opponent, your pieces are overextended. And this light square is very, very, very juicy. If I can maintain this bishop, it should be very good for me. Okay, let's make sure it works. Let's say I go here. If opponent plays this move, I just come back here and I'm keeping everything defended. If opponent captures here, I have this move. I'm threatening checkmate here, and I'm just going to get my piece back. Oh, but if I go here, my opponent has this move. Always important to ask yourself, what is my opponent thinking? Okay, now I feel like just pushing this pawn forward. Asking my opponent to move this somewhere. So where can they move it? Wow. Opponent strikes with that move immediately. Capturing here comes to mind. Capturing there does absolutely nothing. So I guess we have to go here now. Opponent strike with that move. One good thing is that my opponent is weakening the king side really bad. He's weakening the king side really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. This pawn, my opponent might be saying this pawn is weak. The pawn might drop. The bishop, okay, I wanted to say the knight has to go here, but the knight doesn't have to go there. Maybe my opponent can put the knight here and try to harass me one more time. I'm looking at this move already. But then I think my opponent has this move and everything is defended. They are defending this key square. Yeah, I do not have issues with that. I really do not have issues with that. A move like this comes to mind. I'm not sure what I'm getting with that move. So I'm looking at playing this move instead. What if my opponent just defend this way? They can also defend that way. Makes sense. Opponent wants to gain as many tempo as he can on my queen, and my queen is not looking very comfortable there. That's not a comfortable queen. Okay, the problem here is if I play a move like this, which I really want to play, that's a move I really want to play. I think my opponent can hold on to everything this way, and then a threat of move like this, I think that's just allowing my opponent too much counterplay. A move like this, opponent can play a move like this, and they'll be threatening to just go down here. Okay, so a move like this, opponent defends this way, What if I play a move like this? That's pushing too many pawns on my king side. Let's just go here. I'm looking at just castling here next. All right, let's keep it defended this way. Not the biggest fan of what I'm seeing on this board. Not the biggest fan of what I'm seeing on this board. Also in love with my position, but maybe not anymore. Opponent might play a move like this. And I'm looking at playing this move. Okay, opponent played that. I do not think I really have an issue with that move. Don't have an issue with that move. Pushing pawn forward also comes to mind, but I think I might just end up losing material because of this knight, the evil knight. Okay, so let's say my opponent tries to pile up here. Can I play a move like this? I definitely can. But now I'm going on the defensive. I am going on the defensive. I do not like that. If my opponent plays a move like this also comes to mind. Asking my opponent to capture here, but my opponent can get two rooks for the queen. It's not going to be the easiest position for me to play. But a move like this feels really sad. But maybe a move like that is something I just have to play. Opponent has seized the initiative. One good thing for me is this diagonal. Diagonal is super soft. A move like this looks like an interesting move. But I can just capture here and then fork my opponent this way. That's going to be a fork. But maybe opponent plays. Okay, this is defended. So while a move like this looks very interesting, I do not think my opponent wants to play this move. I think that should be a blunder. Let's see how my opponent goes about it. This is a very important square. While I would like to push this pawn forward, the moment I push this pawn forward, I might just be giving up this square. And that's really not a square I want to give up. So maybe I push this pawn forward. That might be a move. Pushing this pawn forward, asking my opponent to capture here. Opponent goes there. I was expecting that move. I was just expecting that move. I was really expecting the move. Just to double check, I play a move like this, just keep everything solid. If opponent push pawn forward here, I can capture here, and opponent can just sack here. And I do not have this capture, so it makes sense. So if opponent push pawn forward, I would like to push pawn. What if I just go here? And I'm simply saying to my opponent, you want the bishop pair, grab it. But the problem with after all of the trade, my opponent has a rook here, and my opponent can play a move like this. Feels very sad. Feels like a sad position to be in. Let's keep everything defended this way. Very passive way to play. Very passive way to be playing chess. So I'm looking at playing a move like this. My queen is so inactive, but the moment I play a move like this, oops, that's just a free queen because this pawn is not defended. Okay, I do not want to really push pawn on my king side, but looks like this move might be something I should be considering. It looks like I should be considering this move. Queen can actually move here without me worrying about a fork here. Pushing this pawn forward is going to give up this square. It's going to give control, give my opponent this square. I do not want to give up that square. Okay, let's say we grab here. Queen is under attack. Oh, we can't grab there. Oh, we cannot grab there. Let's say we go here now. If opponent captures here, can't I go back here? Capture. I think I can go there. Capturing here does nothing. My opponent just goes here. So we do not have anything there. If I decide to capture here, this looks like it's under attack, but it's not really under attack because my opponent can capture this pawn for one. And I'm not seeing what I really have here. Opponent is cooking, guys. Let's try to trade one of this attacker. If opponent captures here, I can capture here if I wish, but I think I can capture here. And if opponent trades here, I should have this move. Maybe just trading material or maybe just doubling up. Let's see how my opponent let's see what my opponent is going to do here. Ooh, opponent captures there. Looks interesting. Oh my goodness me, that's a very interesting move. That's a pawn, guys. This guy is destroying me. What is this? I really do not want to give up that file, but looks like I'm not left with a lot of options. I do not want to give up this square. It looks like I'm not left with a lot of options because opponent is threatening to a check here, and it's just going to win this rook. Opponent just has a pawn. I feel like playing a move like this and not accepting the pawn. And that looks like something I should do. What if we just go here, not accept the pawn? Position is sad, guys. Very sad position. Very sad position. How do I survive this one? I'm trying to use this pawn as an umbrella pawn. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to use my opponent's pawn as an umbrella pawn. And I see something my opponent might be interested in playing here. I see a move my opponent might be interested in playing here, which is bringing the queen here. saying if you do not capture, I have a check here, and it's checkmate. Or maybe I just lose material, but because I'll have to sack my queen. So I expect to see a move like this. If my opponent captures here, what if I just capture here? Okay, that's a pawn, bro. Looks like a pawn. Or is it really a pawn? Okay, we can't capture there. This pawn is going to be very loose. Let's capture this way instead. I'm not the biggest fan of my position. I told you guys, opponent is very interested in playing that. So let's go here. If opponent lands a check here, I'm just going to move away. We have to capture that pawn, else a check here is just going to be too dangerous and I'll have to give up material. Opponent also has the time advantage. Opponent has everything going on from him here. Opponent also has the time advantage. Crazy position. Oh my god. What is my opponent going? It is crazy out here, guys. Maybe opponent wants to play a move like this. I'm looking at going here next. Maybe if we can get to trade down, maybe I won't have a lot of trouble. I'm looking at this move, just trying to say, all right, let's trade the queens. I'm trying to survive here. A pawn push here, I won't be surprised to see. But I'm looking at playing this move. Looks like I'm surviving this. Opponent has the time advantage. But now is not the time to worry about the time advantage here. Now is the time to try to find good move. This knight, very annoying. I really did not want to give up that square. But I think giving up that square allowed me to breathe some fresh air. But the knight is a menace, guys. Just controlling some key squares in my position. Okay, a move like this, if my opponent lands a check here, does nothing. A move like this, what should I worry about? Maybe opponent just goes back. Let's go here. Check here, I do not want. That's just a sacrifice. That's just a nasty sacrifice that does nothing. A move like this, that's our queen, bro. Okay, opponent wants a trade. I would love not to trade here. What can we do? What can we do? I really would love not to trade here. If I play a move like this, opponent has this check and they're winning material. And if I play a move like this, what else should I worry about? A check here, I think I can just go here. Opponent is threatening my knight, and if I play a move like this, my opponent has this check, and that's just going to force my king away from my knight, and my opponent just wins the knight. So I can't afford to allow that. This pawn is weak, and this is attacking it. This knight is also a monster. There's no easy way for my opponent to get the knight away from that square. A move like this, opponent is hitting me with this check. And this knight is controlling these two squares, so my king can't move here to defend this square. I also need to play fast. So now I'm looking at maybe playing a move like this. I'm trying to reroute I'm trying to bring my rook here, trying to trade. That's something I'm looking at. That's something I'm looking at. Let's go here, and we need to move fast. Pawn push here, I won't be surprised to see. If I capture here, what happens? Pawn push. If I capture here, I think my opponent just moves and the move is coming forward. So pawn push. Okay. For a moment, I thought my opponent was interested in something else. Just quickly checking to see what is my opponent up to. Maybe they want to push pawn and they don't want to lose the pawn, but they are not losing the pawn. Here we are not losing the pawn before. Let's go here. Opponent has like 40 seconds time advantage, if not more. Opponent has time advantage here. And my knight, my rook cannot really join the game. Maybe a move like this. I'm not really seeing a way to bring my rook into the game. I'm looking for a way. I'm not seeing. One good thing here is this pawn is pinned, and because it is pinned, I think I can afford to play a move like this. What if my opponent push pawn forward 2 squares? Let's say I go here, opponent push pawn forward 2 squares. Let's go. If he push pawn forward 2 squares, be my guess. Let's let him push. The moment he can't even capture there. So what am I doing? I need to watch out for forks, guys. I'm looking at playing a move like this and bringing one of the rooks here, because my rooks are really not doing anything here. My opponent could have, okay, I thought he could have sacked there. There was no sacrifice there. Pawns are not running, which is good. Pawns are not running. Opponent has a time advantage. Massive time advantage. Very massive time advantage. A move like this looks interesting, but that move allows me to sack here and then capture the rook. So a move like this, while it looks interesting, it does nothing. So I'm not really sure where my opponent is going with that. Maybe they are just going to move here. It has like maybe 20 seconds time advantage. We need to keep the move coming in, and we need to keep it coming fast. This is now bullet, guys. This is now bullet. Maybe opponent is thinking of sacking here. Sacking there does nothing, guys. Sacking, oh, but these 2 pawns, guys, they are dangerous. They are very dangerous pawns. Oh, for a moment I thought I had something here. I do not. Let's go here. Oh, I'm playing too slow. Look at my time usage. Look at my time usage. Can I sack there? Let's sack there, guys. Those 2 pawns might become something else. Let's just sack there. I need to start moving fast. I'm going to trade. If I'm not getting checkmated, then okay, that's a pawn. Give me the pawn. If I'm not getting checkmated, I should be fine. Oh my god. Trying to move fast, guys. Trying to move fast. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Trying to move fast. Trying not to get flagged. I'm trying to flag the guy. 6 seconds. And that's a win. And that is a win. What? Wow. Wow, that's some dirty flagging there. It's so satisfying. That is a very satisfying win. Let's go. Opponent was crushing me throughout that game. Opponent was just crushing me. And you can see opponent played with 83.5% accuracy. I played with 79.1. Opponent was never in trouble. I just messed up the position. Okay, that pawn push was bad. What was the best move? Let's learn. Okay, just play a move like this. Just this, so that just to prepare this move. I did not. My opponent seized the initiative, and that was a missed win. But even at that, wasn't the easiest position for me to defend. Okay, opponents, their engine is suggesting opponent plays a move. The problem is if I capture here, that's a check. If I capture here, opponent can sack the rook again. And if I capture here, my rook is not defended because my rooks are not connected. I did not play any of that. Our opponent did not play any of that. Instead, they played this move, and I played this move. Looks good. Opponent played that, and then I went back trying to go for some high-level maneuvering, but it does absolutely nothing. My opponent found the best move, guys. So what was the best move for me instead of going there? Let's see. Okay, push pawn forward, guys. Remember, I was saying justice, push the pawn forward, but I just did not want to give up this square. I really did not want to give up that square. Giving up the square was what I should go for. And in this position, if I had captured here, my opponent just captures here with check. It's going to be a fork. I noticed something. The pawn is no longer sitting here, which simply means this rook is looking at this pawn, and I cannot capture here, and I'm just going to end up losing material. So because of that, I finally gave up the square, and position is just completely lost now. It is completely lost. My opponent had the time advantage, but I knew my only chances here is to flag my opponent, and I just started playing very fast. And there was really nothing going on here. But I think maybe this yes, that sacrifice might be bad. I think that sacrifice might be bad, but practically speaking, I do not have to worry about these pawns, and I won't spend a lot of time thinking, is this pawns running? Are these pawns running? Are these pawns running? So that sacrifice, while Stockfish thinks it is bad, I think it is very good because I'm heading towards the bullet territory. And then trading here, I'm just happy with, and that's a pawn. And the position is everything and losing for me, just completely losing. I tried to trick my opponent. He went for this pawn and my opponent blundered. Opponent defended. I think I should have just captured there, but I was just trying to see if I can get my opponent to think, get my opponent thinking. Opponent plays that. If they had captured with the king, I just captured this pawn. They did not, and I was just completely losing here. But I know checks are very useful, and I hung my rook. If my opponent had captured that rook, it's GG's. I knew checks are going to be very useful here because when I give my opponent a check, he's going to struggle to find move the king, and that's just going to give me time. I was planning to, after this check, I was planning to sacrifice the rook somewhere, just give a check, just make my opponent, just to flag my opponent, and it actually worked, and that's GG's. Let's get another game rolling. Okay, I'm playing a 2097 rated player. He's going for the king's pawn opening, queen's pawn opening. Maybe we are going to see the queen's gambit, and the queen's gambit we have on the board. We have the queen's gambit declined. Okay, maybe he's going for, yes, the Catalan. This is now the Catalan closed position. Let's castle. I'm looking at playing a move like this. If opponent ever captures here, I think I'm happy to see that. Now I'm looking at capturing here and maybe pushing pawn forward. But I really do know that's not a move I would have gone for. I would have thought about it. Maybe I would go for it. The reason is that this bishop is usually a monster on this diagonal. But right now, the bishop is everything but a monster. Bishop is everything but a monster on this diagonal. The bishop is actually doing a good job defending my opponent's king. Bishop is not a very sad bishop. I'm looking at playing a move like this with ideas of going here and maybe trying to trade the bishop. That's for one. I suspect my opponent wants to play a move like this. I do not think I have an issue capturing here. I do not have an issue capturing there. So let's see. Okay. If my opponent plays a move like this and I capture here, I feel like playing a move like this, but that's just giving up material because my opponent can just grab there. Okay, so now I'm going to play a move like this. I'm going to ask my opponent, what are you doing with the bishop? And the opponent is saying, my plan has been to give up the bishop pair. And I'm all right. I'm saying, all right. Thank you for the bishop pair. Opponent wants to play a move like this. And when I capture here, maybe they capture here, but that's going to be a pawn. Opponent realizes that's going to be a pawn. And opponent doesn't want that on the board. So when opponent plays a move like this, I feel like playing a move like this. Trying to capture there, but what am I gaining with that? A move like this also comes to mind when opponent plays a move like this. Capturing here doesn't really work. If I play a move like this, maybe opponent land this move. Opponent really wants this diagonal. That's evident. Opponent really wants the diagonal. I'm looking at playing a move like this, trying to hit my opponent with this move. It does nothing. A move like this looks very interesting. Trying to trade. I like to hold on to some material here. Let's play a move like this. If my opponent plays a move like this, I feel like just ignoring it. If my opponent captures here, I can capture here. The bishop is still looking at the rook here. So if my opponent plays this move, what if I capture here? Ask my opponent to capture here and grab this pawn. The opponent plays this move and my bishop is trapped. My bishop is trapped. So we can't do that. Okay, for a moment I thought I have a pin. A moment I thought I have a pin. Alright, let's go here. I'm looking at going for this pin now, but maybe that move just allows my opponent to land a knight here. And maybe that pin is not very useful pin because my opponent has this move. Yes, that's not a very useful pin. That's not a very useful pin. A move like this, I'm looking at capturing here. Opponent can capture here. So a move like this, what if I ignore and just play a move like this? I think opponent is just going to play. Oh, if he plays that, that's a pawn. If he plays that, I just grab the pawn. So let's see what he plays here. A pawn push here. I'm looking at capturing, but opponent just captures here. Maybe landing my knight here. That knight is going to be happy there. Yes, I think so. I think that will be a happy knight. So if my opponent push pawn here, I think I can capture here. And this pawn is going to be an isolated pawn. I guess that's the reason my opponent hasn't pushed the pawn forward. I guess that's the reason. My opponent might be looking at playing a move like this, trying to gain space on my part of the board. That knight is very evil. I'm looking at playing a move like this, trying to kick the knight away from my part of the board very quickly. Trying to say, dear evil knight, leave my part of the board very quickly. Okay, opponent goes for this. Let's go here. That's an isolated pawn. I have no issues with it. My knight landing here. The knight is a chief. The knight is a monster here. My opponent tries to play a move like this. I just go for this pin and opponent would be losing material. I see my opponent losing material there. Maybe they won't, but if my opponent plays a move like this, I go for this pin. If you capture here, just capture the rook. So this knight is the knight is solid here. Opponent's knight, if I kick the knight away this way, that's a weakening move. A pin like this also comes to mind. Just hit my opponent with pins, pins, pins. Pins, pins, pins. Opponent plays that. Opponent plays that. Capturing here just helps my opponent solve all of his problems. Capturing there, I won't. A move like this comes to mind. But guess what, guys? I guess opponent has this move. I'm looking at going here. Okay, opponent wants to capture here. That looks interesting. Opponent wants to capture here. Bringing the bishop back here feels bad. It feels bad. Allowing my opponent captures here feels sad. Not bad, but feels very sad. I'm left with several options here. Capturing here, I do not want to do. Allow my opponent play this move. Nah. I'm looking at going here. I'm not sure what I gain with that. Or maybe I should capture the knight. Maybe I should just capture the knight and allow my opponent to play this move. Let's grab the knight. Before the knight becomes a monster in my position. Sometimes I hold on to the bishop pair so much that I end up asking for trouble. Opponent should capture this with the pawn. If opponent captures this way, thank you. If opponent captures that way, I'm simply just saying thank you. And that's a pin. I do not want that pin. That's a pin on my knight. I do not want that pin. A move like this comes to mind, and I'm threatening to capture here. Would love to capture there. A move like this also comes to mind. But if I capture here, I have to watch out and make sure I can escape this, because that will be a pin on my knight. It's going to be a pin on my knight. But if the opponent piece queen is still sitting here, okay, if I play a move like this, I think opponent can just immediately defend here. But if I play a move like this, opponent will have to decide what they are doing with their pawn, because I'll be hitting the queen and the pawn at the same time. So if I play a move like this, I suspect if my opponent plays a move like this, and if I go capture here, opponent is going to play a move like this, and oops, I won a pawn, but my knight is pinned. I won a pawn, but my knight is pinned. Okay, so let's say I play a move like this. If opponent decides to go here, what if I just grab this pawn? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let's say I can play a move like this. What if opponent goes here? Opponent is very interested in going for this. And I'm looking at playing a move like this. That's a move I'm looking at going for. Hitting this immediately. Let's see what my opponent is going to play here. So let's say I go here now. What is my opponent going to play? I'm hitting this. I expect maybe a trade here. I'm just going to capture here. A move like this also comes to mind, but a move like that I think is allowing this. Let's play a move like this. Let's see. I also have the threat of just winning this piece. That's a threat, and it is a serious threat. It is a serious threat. If opponent decides to capture here, I'm just going to ignore and win a piece. So what if opponent decide to capture here first, and after the trade, then they capture here? I feel like going for this check before I capture here. Let's see. Position is looking very interesting. Let's see how my opponent is going to approach it. I also have the time advantage, but time advantage doesn't really matter here. If opponent push pawn forward, I have this move, but guess what? Opponent can, oh, they can't really pin me. Okay, pushing this move is asking for trouble, guys. Pushing that pawn is asking for trouble. This is going to be very good. Opponent doesn't have this. Okay, they have this move because the pawn is blocking this off. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And my rook is not defended, so it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. But I wish it doesn't make sense, but it makes a lot of sense. Opponent is thinking. I think opponent doesn't really want to allow this check. But after the check, I land a check here. I'm not really seeing what I gain with that check. I'm not seeing what I gain with that check, except my queen is going to be very active here. But how am I infiltrating? Ooh, look at that, guys. Well, I think my opponent can play a move like this then, because I'll be hitting my queen, and if I capture here, I lose my queen, and if I capture here, they can capture here. Oh, sad position. Our opponent has to be careful about their back rank. This is going to be a very good move. Our opponent has to be very careful about his back rank, because after I check here, opponent blocks this way. A move like this might be GG's. A move like that might be GG's, but for now, I think my opponent, depending on what I strike, I think my queen might still be here. If I land this check, if I land this check, my opponent captures, and I capture, my queen will be here. So when they block this way, when I play a move like this, I think my opponent can play this move, and it's not like I can play a move like this. And if my opponent plays that move, I really feel like going here. I really feel like going there, but opponent is just going to strike me with something I do not want to see on the board. And my opponent pushing this pawn forward is something I like. If I go here, my opponent is going to play a move like this. I know that for sure. But what if I go here, check, opponent captures, I land this check, I expect them to play a move like this. And then I land this move. I think then my opponent can play a move like this. So what if I land this check then? Maybe they can block this way. Not sure what I'm getting. A check here. Maybe I get a pawn. Am I getting a pawn? A check here. Opponent captures. And then I come here with a check. If opponent blocks the check, I'm looking at a move like this. I think a check here also makes sense. But opponent can play a move like this. But then I can't really capture there. Opponent can capture there. Oh my god, what do I have? I do not want to trade a lot of material here. So let's go back. Capturing here comes to mind. I'm not seeing what I gain with that. I really want to land this check. A check here, opponent captures. A check here. What are my opponent's options? They have to block this way. And after I move like this, opponent can bring their queen here. And after I move like this, I'm threatening to go here. This threat is still on the board. Not sure what I'm gaining here, guys. I'm not sure. What if I go here instead? That move, hit the rook. Guys, it's complicated. Let's just go back here. Let's not burn too much time. A move like this now comes to mind. Going to be a very important move. I check here. What happens next? A move like this. I see my opponent playing a move like this. And then after a move like this, opponent is... You can't really pile up here. What if they pile up here? So let's play a move like this first. Hit the queen. They're simply saying there, evil queen. Move away. I also have the time advantage here, which is something I like. I have like 2-minute time advantage, but I want to play the game. Let's play. Opponent might play a move like this, but I'm not going to trade queens. Oh, I think I have this move. Oh, opponent can just capture there. That's nothing. So if opponent plays this move, I think that's a pawn. And if opponent plays that move, I think we have this move. Oh my goodness me. Let's see this. Maybe opponent plays a move like this. I think I can capture here and then capture here. So let's see what opponent is up to here. So that move coming. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that, opponent can capture here. So I think we have to trade here first and then get a pawn. Opponent can land a check here. I think I can go here and I'm safe. The knight is pinned. How do we pile up on the pinned knight? And that would have been a knight I can win because my opponent has a light square bishop. So if I can pile up on the knight, it's GG's, guys. Good luck piling up on the knight. I need to watch out, guys, just to make sure I'm not giving away material. A move like this comes to mind. A move like that, I'm not seeing what I get with. Let's go here. A check here is possible. I also want to watch out my opponent doesn't have some nasty discover check that just wins material. A move like this, which is a move my opponent might like to play, doesn't really work now. How do I win? I'm up a pawn in an end game. But the end game is looking good for me. My god, how do I pile up on this piece? Too slow, guys. It is too slow. A move like this, pile up on the piece, but I don't think my opponent is going to allow that. I do not see my opponent allowing that. A move like this, opponent push pawn. Can't really capture here. What if we go here? That's another pin. Okay, opponent has moves like this. Okay, so opponent is chilling. Let's grab here. Let's go attack this pawn. I'm up a pawn here. I think I'm chilling. Let's go attack this pawn. Let's grab the pawn. Grab pawns. We are here to win pawns. I think my position is just crushing here. Just completely crushing here. Go away. Evil piece. So that move happening. Let's defend this way. That's a sad way to defend, but I'm going to do it. Let's go here. I'm looking at going here. Oh, I thought I was winning a pawn. Not yet. A move like this comes to mind, and that's a pawn, bro. That's a pawn. Let's defend this way. Wow, for a moment I thought I was trapped. A brief moment I thought I was trapped. Opponent has 25 seconds. Opponent is lost. Go away. Evil. I'm looking at trading there, and after the trade, is this knight not trap? Okay, the knight has this square. Knight has that square. Oh, that's a piece, bro. The moment you play a move like this, these pawns are running. Pawn is running. Go. 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 Bro, look for the resign button. My opponent resigns. Let's take a look at the game. I played with 91% accuracy. Opponent played with 84% accuracy. This guy is just unstoppable today. I am just unstoppable today. Opponent just made one blunder and I took the advantage and never let it go. Let's see. So this was the Queen's Gambit declined. So what was the blunder that my opponent made here? Let's see. Okay, I played this move. I was looking at going for this. My opponent strikes here. And after this capture, yes, I was really happy with that capture. I was saying my opponent has an isolated pawn. And landing my knight there wasn't good. Yes, capturing here is really good. I usually don't like to give up my bishop pair for knights like this. But I've seen those evil knights cause me a lot of havoc. So this time around, I decided to give it up. Strike with this move. Did I miss something? That's a blunder. What's the best move? I was looking at this check. The engine really wanted that. And after this check, how do I win? That's the problem. Opponent is forced to block this way. How do I really win? That's the question. How do I win? Let's see. Because I saw all of this, but I was thinking, how do I win? Yes, I knew this is a possibility, but opponent has this move. Rook to c1. Okay, I also consider this move. Okay, I consider this move and I also looked at this move. But what else? The engine is suggesting b4 for my opponent. Can't I land a knight here now? Oh, this is how I win. This is how I win. The trade here is simple. The trade here is simple. Oh, I was trying to find a move. I was thinking of this. I wish I thought about this move. Maybe I would have found it. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, yeah? I found this move. The trade here is simple. I want to land my knight here. And that square is defended. What if opponent plays a move like this? Oh, look at that. And after the trade, I have this check and I pick up the knight. I pick up the knight and I'm completely winning. Yes. Let's go back. So I hit my opponent's queen here. And then after this move, I captured here. Captured here. My opponent broke the pin. I hit my opponent again. I played a move like this. Opponent strike with this. I pinned my opponent's knight. And I'm looking to pile up on the knight. Opponent just offers a trade. Then I attack the pawn. Attack the pawn again. How do you save the pawn? And I won the pawn. Hold on to my pawn. My opponent is trying to win my pawn. I held on to my pawn. Landed the check here. And then attack my opponent's pawn. I'm just up a million pawns here and winning. And after I move like this, I strike with this check, offer a trade. And after the trade, this is just completely winning. This is just completely winning. Pawn is just running. My opponent smashed the resign button. Guys, I'll be ending the video now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the video. If you are yet to smash the like button, now is the time. Like the video, like the video. How many games did we play today? Wow, guys, we are just on fire. We played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We played 7 games and we did not lose anyone. That's just impressive. And guys, thanks again for tuning in. And with that, I'm out.